Hey everyone, how are you guys doing? Welcome to my channel. So this is a very tea-worthy live. So Summer None Other went live with Marshanae, Chrisean's bestie, and she said that Zeus had invited her to Baddies to squabble with Tasiki. And Marsh was also saying that they were playing with her by not saying that she was a cast member like everyone else. So I don't know what's going on here. I have no clue.
Nobody was supposed to say this out loud. This was one of those industry secrets that lives in group chats, whispered DMs, and deleted Instagram stories that mysteriously vanish at 3:17 a.m. But now it's out, it's loud, and it's messier than a Baddies reunion couch after 6 tequila shots. Chrisean's Bestie MARSH just cracked the vault, and the internet is standing there like, wait, that's why. Because let's be honest, Baddies USA has never been about just getting to the bag. If it was, half the cast would have cashed out and disappeared already. This show is about clout collisions, friendship fractures, and people smiling on camera while plotting emotional warfare off camera. And Marsh didn't just wander onto Baddies by accident like she missed a wrong Uber exit. According to what she just revealed, this was chess, not checkers. This wasn't reality TV. This was reality manipulation. And when Marsh finally said why she joined, fans realized the entire storyline they believed might have been as staged as a celebrity. Apology notes app screenshot. This makes the Kardashians look subtle. This makes Love and Hip Hop look like a PBS documentary. Because once you hear the real reason Marsh stepped into the Baddies universe, you'll never watch another episode the same way again. Marsh was never supposed to be the headline. That's the part nobody can stop thinking about. In a universe where loud personalities fight for camera time like it's oxygen, Marsh was positioned as the quiet constant, the dependable shadow next to Chrisean, the one viewers clocked but didn't question. And that is exactly why this revelation landed like a wrecking ball through a glass house. Because when the person everyone assumed was just there suddenly starts explaining why they were there, the entire illusion collapses. According to Marsh, joining Baddies USA was not some spontaneous decision fueled by excitement, boredom, or a random DM from production. It was deliberate, calculated, and tied to things happening behind the scenes that viewers were never meant to fully understand. She didn't walk into that environment blind. She walked in prepared, already knowing that reality TV isn't about reality. It's about who controls the narrative before the edit does. When Marsh explained this to Summer, the tone wasn't playful or messy for clout. It was calm, measured, and dangerously honest. That's what made it unsettling. She spoke like someone who had been holding their breath for months and finally decided it was safer to exhale than to keep suffocating. And once those words left her mouth, fans realized this wasn't tea. This was a system being exposed. She made it clear that proximity matters. Being present matters. Because if you're not in the room when stories are being shaped, you become the story without consent. Marsh admitted that stepping into Baddies was about making sure narratives didn't get written about her or Chrisean without someone there to counterbalance the chaos. In reality TV terms, that's not ambition. That's survival. The internet didn't know what to do with that honesty. Some fans immediately felt played, like they'd been watching a magician only to find out the assistant was running the trick. Others nodded knowingly, saying this confirmed what everyone secretly suspected about reality television but rarely hears said out loud. Because Baddies has never been a show where things just happen. Things are nudged, encouraged, framed, and sometimes flat out engineered. Suddenly, Marsh's every past appearance looked different. Moments that once felt random now looked intentional. Conversations that seemed insignificant started feeling like chess moves. Even her silence in certain scenes took on a new meaning. Silence, after all, is one of the most powerful tools in a room full of people desperate to be heard. Fans began rewinding episodes like detectives reviewing security footage. Who was Marsh standing next to? When did she speak up? When did she stay quiet? And more importantly, who benefited from those moments? That's when the tension really started building. Because the answers weren't comfortable, the backlash arrived right on schedule. Some accused Marsh of exploiting friendship for relevance, saying loyalty shouldn't come with contracts and camera angles. Others clapped back hard, pointing out that pretending reality TV is pure is the biggest lie of all. One viral comment summed it up perfectly by saying, "If you think these shows are accidental, you're the plot." What made it worse, or better depending on who you ask, was that Marsh didn't backpedal, she didn't apologize, she didn't reframe her words to sound softer. She stood on it. And nothing rattles the internet more than someone refusing to perform regret. This is where things got uncomfortable for the show itself, because once a cast member openly acknowledges strategy, it forces viewers to question the authenticity of every emotional moment they've consumed. Crying scenes feel rehearsed, blow-ups feel timed, reconciliations start looking like contract obligations. And Baddies USA, a franchise built on raw chaos, suddenly looked a little too organized that the conversation quickly shifted from Marsh to the machine. Fans began asking how many other cast members joined for reasons they've never admitted. Who else was playing defense? Who else was protecting someone off camera? And how much of what viewers believe is real is actually just well-executed damage control? Marsh didn't claim to be a villain or a hero. She positioned herself as aware of how fast narratives can destroy people, aware of how edits can turn friends into enemies overnight, and aware that being passive in that environment is the fastest way to lose control of your own image. That awareness is what made her explanation hit harder than any screaming match ever could. Because yelling is expected on Baddies, strategy is not, and once strategy enters the chat, the show stops being messy entertainment and starts looking like social warfare in designer outfits. The first reactions were chaos. Comment sections split down the middle, think pieces popped up overnight, reaction videos multiplied faster than apologies after a leaked DM. And all of it circled back to one uncomfortable truth. Marsh said the quiet part out loud. This wasn't about fame alone. This wasn't about clout chasing. This was about positioning yourself inside the chaos instead of being crushed by it. And once viewers understood that, they couldn't unsee it. By the end of that reveal, one thing was clear. Marsh didn't accidentally end up on Baddies USA. She walked in knowing exactly what kind of fire she was stepping into. And the real scandal wasn't that she admitted it. The real scandal was how much sense it made once she did, once Marsh's explanation hit the timeline. The conversation stopped being about her and turned into a full-blown autopsy of reality. Television itself. This wasn't a scandal that fizzled out in a few hours. It metastasized. The internet didn't just react. It reframed everything it thought it knew about Baddies USA overnight. Fans went from passive viewers to conspiracy theorists with Wi-Fi, slow-motion playback, and far too much free time. Suddenly, nothing felt accidental anymore. Arguments that once looked spontaneous started feeling scheduled. Emotional breakdowns felt suspiciously well-timed. Even the camera angles became suspect. Like they were accomplices instead of witnesses. People started saying Baddies wasn't chaotic, it was curated chaos. Like a zoo where the animals know exactly when feeding time is, and the audience still pretends it's wild nature. Memes exploded immediately. One viral image showed Marsh wearing sunglasses with the caption, POV. You join Baddies with a plan. Another compared her to a Secret Service agent embedded deep in enemy territory, smiling while mentally taking notes. Someone else joked that she didn't join the cast, she joined the control room. And the scariest part, none of it felt far-fetched. Reality. Stars from other franchises began chiming in without really chiming in. You know the type. Vague tweets about being smart in messy environments and Instagram captions about protecting your narrative. Nobody said Marsh's name, but everyone knew exactly what they were responding to. Silence from certain cast members was louder than any clapback. When the people with the most to lose suddenly stop talking, the internet assumes guilt by quiet fans. started drawing comparisons to old reality TV confessions that came years too late. The kind where former cast members admit storylines were nudged, emotions were poked, and reactions were encouraged until something broke. Except this time. The confession came while the show was still airing. That's like someone pulling back the curtain in the middle of a magic trick and expecting the audience to just keep clapping. TikTok turned into a digital courtroom. Creators stitched Marsh's words frame by frame, adding dramatic music like it was a true crime documentary. People slowed down clips, circled faces, and analyzed body language like they were decoding alien transmissions. Even Summer's reactions became evidence. Every eyebrow raise, every pause, every breath got turned into a theory. Some viewers felt betrayed, saying the reveal ruined the authenticity of the show. That complaint lasted about 3 seconds before someone else replied, "If you still believe reality TV is authentic, that's on you." And honestly, that comment went platinum because this wasn't exposing something new. It was confirming something people just didn't want to admit. The outrage wasn't really about Marsh being strategic. It was about her being honest about it. That's what people couldn't handle. Because everyone loves strategy until someone admits they're using it. Then suddenly it's fake, calculated, and manipulative. As if the entire genre isn't built on manipulation with better lighting. Pop culture comparisons went wild. Fans said Marsh played baddies the way Kris Jenner plays a press cycle. Others said it was giving early Game of Thrones energy, where the quiet characters end up controlling everything while the loud ones get distracted by drama. One viral tweet said Marsh treated baddies like chess while everyone else showed up with checkers and Vib. Meanwhile, commentary channels started piling on. Reaction videos popped up with titles screaming "This changes everything" in all caps. Podcasts dedicated entire episodes to debating whether Marsh was smart or shady. And the wild part was that both sides had solid arguments, because two things can be true at once. You can be loyal and strategic. You can protect your friend and protect yourself. Reality TV doesn't reward purity. It rewards preparation. Then came the paranoia phase. Fans started questioning every alliance. Who else joined for hidden reasons? Who else was guarding someone off camera? Who was using friendship as armor and who was using it as a weapon? Suddenly, Baddies USA felt less like a show and more like a social experiment where everyone was both the subject and the observer. Marsh's calm during all of this only made it worse. She didn't scramble to explain herself. She didn't jump on Liv to clarify. She let the chaos swirl while she stayed unbothered. And nothing fuels speculation like someone refusing to panic. It read as confidence to some and arrogance to others. Either way, it kept her at the center of the storm. At this point, the scandal wasn't about whether Marsh told the truth. It was about whether viewers were ready to accept it. Because accepting it means admitting you've been emotionally invested in a show that's more constructed than you want to believe. It means realizing the mess is managed, the fights are framed, and the real moments are carefully protected. Until they're profitable. By the end of this phase, the internet wasn't asking why Marsh joined Baddies anymore. They were asking how many other people did the same thing but never admitted it. And once that question enters the chat, the entire franchise starts sweating. Once the noise settled, the real damage started showing up in quieter ways, not the viral kind, the kind that lingers, the kind that doesn't trend but changes energy permanently. Because after Marsh said what she said, nothing in the Baddies universe could go back to normal. You could feel it in the pauses, in the side eyes, in the way people suddenly chose their words like they were negotiating a ceasefire instead of filming a reality show. The first thing to shift was trust, not just between cast members, but between the show and the audience. Viewers didn't stop watching because, let's be honest, chaos is still entertaining. But they started watching differently. Every scene came with suspicion. Every argument came with a mental footnote. Fans weren't asking what happened anymore. They were asking why now and who benefits. Marsh's reputation split clean down the middle. To one side of the internet, she became the smartest person in the room. the only one brave enough to admit how the game is actually played. To the other side, she became calculated, cold, and opportunistic, accused of turning friendship into strategy, and the truth lived somewhere uncomfortably in between. Chrisean's name stayed glued to the conversation, even when she didn't speak. That's the part people forget about proximity. When your name is attached to someone who shakes the table, you feel the aftershocks whether you asked for them or not. Fans debated whether Marsh was protecting Chrisean or protecting herself. Others wondered if Chrisean always knew and just let Marsh take the heat. Either way, the friendship was no longer seen as simple. It was seen as layered, strategic, possibly unbreakable, possibly transactional. Behind the scenes, you could tell something shifted. Cast members became more guarded. Reactions felt less impulsive. Arguments felt shorter, sharper, more controlled. That raw, reckless energy that made baddies feel unpredictable started tightening up like everyone suddenly remembered they were being studied. When people realize the audience is analyzing intent instead of just enjoying drama, they start acting like lawyers instead of loose cannons. Public perception of the show took a hit and a boost at the same time. Critics called it exposed, fans called it fascinating. Numbers didn't drop. If anything, curiosity skyrocketed. Because once the illusion cracks, people don't leave. They lean in closer. They want to see who slips next, who forgets the cameras, who pretends nothing changed while clearly adjusting everything. Marsh didn't disappear after the fallout. And that might have been the boldest move of all. She stayed visible, calm, and apologetic. That silence without retreat energy made it clear she wasn't scrambling to fix anything. In a genre where people rush to clean up narratives, her refusal to perform damage control became its own statement. The long-term consequence wasn't cancellation. It was recalibration. Fans stopped assigning easy roles like villain and hero. They started seeing cast members as players in a machine that rewards awareness and punishes naivety. And once that mindset takes hold, it never fully goes away. Industry insiders quietly nodded. Not publicly, of course, but anyone who's ever touched reality television knew Marsh hadn't lied. She just violated the unspoken rule. You can play the game. You can benefit from it. You can even outsmart it. You just don't admit it while the cameras are still rolling. What made this moment dangerous wasn't that Marsh exposed herself. It's that she gave viewers language. Once audiences learn how to describe manipulation, they start spotting it everywhere. And that awareness spreads faster than drama ever could. The friendships that survived did so under new terms, less innocence, more caution. The ones that didn't survive didn't explode. They faded. Quiet unfollows, cold shoulders, distance disguised as growth. That's the aftermath nobody clips for TikTok. But it's the real cost of saying too much in a space built on controlled silence. And yet, despite all of that, Marsh didn't look regretful. She looked relieved, like someone who finally stopped, pretending the house wasn't on fire just because everyone else was roasting marshmallows. She didn't burn the bridge. She showed people the gasoline and walked away. The biggest irony is that this revelation didn't ruin Baddies USA. It matured it. It forced the audience to evolve, to stop consuming mess blindly and start recognizing patterns. That doesn't kill reality TV. It transforms it into something sharper, darker, and more addictive. Because now, every new cast member will be watched differently. Every bestie will be questioned. Every alliance will be examined for motive instead of emotion, and that tension, that constant uncertainty, that's reality TV's lifeblood. Marsh didn't just explain why she joined Baddies USA. She exposed what it costs to exist inside it. And once you understand that, the drama stops being random noise and starts sounding like strategy in surround sound. Now listen, if you made it this far, congratulations! You're officially addicted to mess. With context. And if this reveal had you side-eyeing your screen, rewinding clips, or questioning everything you thought you knew about Baddies USA, then don't lie to yourself. This channel is already your guilty pleasure. Go ahead and smash that like Button like it owes you money because the algorithm feeds on chaos and we're not about to let it starve. Drop a comment right now and tell me this. Was Marsh being smart, shady, or just honest in a game built on fake reactions and real consequences? Don't be polite, be loud. The comment section is the real reunion couch chat, and if you're still watching without subscribing, that's wild behavior. Hit that subscribe button like you just found out someone's been talking about you behind your back, because scandals don't come with warnings. And when the next secret leaks, it's dropping. Here first. This isn't the channel for clean narratives or bedtime stories. This is where reality TV gets dissected, flipped inside out, and exposed with sarcasm receipts, and zero sympathy for fake outrage, while other channels tiptoe around drama. We sprint headfirst into it with popcorn and a magnifying glass. Turn on notifications so you don't miss the next meltdown, the next bestie confession, or the next reality star accidentally telling the truth and regretting it in real time. Because trust me, this situation isn't done. The energy has shifted, the masks are slipping, and somebody else is definitely going to crack necks. And when they do, you already know where to be. Same mess, same chaos, same ruthless breakdowns. Welcome to Celeb Insanity, where the tea is never lukewarm and the truth always hits harder than the edit.